All right, all right, all right, all right. Hope I'm coming in loud and clear. Hope I'm coming in loud and clear. What is going on? What is cracking? How is everybody doing? What is going on this evening? Welcome to the first episode of the 1/3 show. This is season 2 of the 1/3 show as we kick off 2021. How is everybody doing? I hope you guys are over your holiday hangover. Now we're going to begin the show. We're going to talk about the holiday aftermath. Hope everybody's holidays and New Year's have been doing great. Hope those stimulus checks have hit those accounts, as meager and as little as they are. So we're going to kick off the show. You know what I'm saying? As we state and as we have our wonderful person here in the background sweeping up after the aftermath. Because after the party, you know what I'm saying? Everybody loves the party. Nobody loves to clean up after the mess. So the American people, you, the American people, us as the American people, we all as the American people, we have to clean up after the mess of what our politicians are or not doing. So we're going to kick this off straight off, and we're going to go straight into what is the biggest thing in front of us, and that is this coronavirus pandemic that is still going on. And the reason why a lot of you, or many of you, I hope, have your stimulus checks money is because of the very virus it is. Because normally you will be getting your W-2s, you will be filing your taxes, and you will get your tax returns. And people don't understand that even with the stimulus money that you are getting, that is just to pay it forward. So for the next 2, almost going on 3 years, you'll be seeing meager tax returns. So you're just getting that money for 2021. The first stimulus check was, your tax returns from 2020 that you're supposed to get in 2021. They just gave it to you early. So so the stimulus checks that you're going to get, that you're getting or supposedly getting, that's for your tax returns for what you're projected to make in 2021, but you're supposed to get those in 2022. So if you get another stimulus, then they'll defer those payments to you until 2023. So just to let you know, but right now we have a problem. We can't think about the future when our present is so much in jeopardy. Okay, so what I'm saying? Just saying what's up to the great regime and our sister Callie Jane. How goes it? How goes it? So let's get into it. Let's get into our first order of business, shall we say. So we're going to start talking about what has been really affecting some things, and it's been affecting professional workers, right? And this has been a problem in the pandemic. So what have these professional workers have been doing, right? So let's show how have they been making ends meet, right? And there was this article. Now, some of these articles happened at the end of last year. Some of these articles happened this year. So, but this all comes into point of retention of what we need to deal with and what we need to talk about. And it is the economics of our country. So this is in the economics section. It's in the description below. In the video description. So all these articles that I bring up, so you can go back and refer back to these articles and you can go look those articles up for yourself. But I'm just going to do a brief synopsis to this and move on. Okay, so now the publishing date on this article was, the publishing date of this article was December 22nd, 2020 of last year. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Happy New Year to you, to everybody here that's showing up. So, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope I'm coming in loud and clear. If I'm coming in loud and clear, there's no lagging or anything like that, give me a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure I'm not too loud, I'm not clipping, but I am indeedly clear. Okay. Okay. So what we have here is that it's been in the news that that there was a paramedic in New York City, and she was and a paramedic speaks out after her OnlyFans account is revealed by the publication. Let me be very clear, right? So a paramedic speaks out after her OnlyFans page, okay, account is revealed by publication. Let me be very clear. Lauren Kui, I think this is Kiwi, the New York-based paramedic who was publicly identified by the New York Post in an article about her OnlyFans account, has started a GoFundMe account to help support her during her legal battles against the newspaper. The original article titled "New NYC Medic Help Make Ends Meet with Racy on, OnlyFans side gig" was published on December 12th to the protest of the 23-year-old Kiwi, who later wrote on GoFundMe that she begged the Post reporter Dean Pazami not to reveal her identity. Let me be very clear. I did not want the New York Post to run this article, much less use my name. When Dean first interviewed me, he did not tell me what this was about until after I disclosed most of my background. He did not include in his article that I started crying on the phone when he finally did tell me what he was inquiring about. The Twitter backlash to the Post stories was swift, with even Alexandra Axel Cortez tweeting to condemn the outlet. Leave her alone, the 31-year-old New York representative wrote. The actual scandalous headline here is medics in the United States need 2 jobs to survive. Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, right? Okay. This is her photo of her being a paramedic in New York City is a public point of your service person, your public office, not public office, but it's like being a firefighter or a police officer. It's held in that regard. You're serving the public. You're a public servant. People, taxpayer dollars, pay your salary. You are then on OnlyFans doing, and we know what OnlyFans is about. It's like a soft or hard, pay as you go porn hub or something like that. So yes, you was crying, but you did the interview. You talked to the guy. He's a reporter. He reported, right? And of course, it was going to come out or whatever. Now, the thing is, when you sign whatever, or you talk to this reporter, was there NDA? Was there a non-disclosure agreement? I need my identity, blah, blah, or whatever. He's a reporter. This is the New York Post. They report a lot of things. So did he do anything that was untrue? Let's say this. Did he report anything that was untrue? Now, me personally, this will affect her job. But here's the thing. You did the interview with the New York Post. We all know that New York is the mecca for media. Okay, so you did an interview with the New York Post, knowing what was going to happen, what was going on, and it didn't get the thing that you wish that it had, because now you're in a professional setting and now your job is in jeopardy. Your main job is in jeopardy. Now, here's the problem. What if someone else would have noticed that you was on OnlyFans and brought that about and brought that attention up? Because you're not hiding your face. You look exactly the same. It's not like, oh, she looks like this girl from here because she works there. Like, you're a public servant. It's easy. It's not like you're a private citizen or something. But if you're on OnlyFans and people are paying to see you naked, then I don't understand. I'm really comprehended. And this is the thing where we call self-accountability and agency with folks. Okay, that's just that. But it leads you to say that, now let's look at it on a different nutshell. Let's look at it on something else, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's look at it on a different nutshell. You know what I'm saying? Now, things are that bad where you have, you got to put in a lot of hours. You have to be very smart to be a paramedic. You are the first line of defense. You are the first line of defense. And before I continue, let me say hello to people in the chat. Callie Jane, Gray Regime, Jacqueline, thank you for coming by. Sharja, what's going on? Hahu, the Owl Network, RVSOP, what's going on? JV Dessalines, Sakpase, happy late Haitian Independence Day there, JV. And happy New Year to everybody that's joining us as we speak. But the thing is that this is how bad that the coronavirus has affected people, where you have people in so much of a professional setting where they have to do things where OnlyFans is paying them the rest of the wages. And here's the problem is that, yeah, she's a paramedic. She just doing a lot of work. So she wasn't laid off. I'm like, if anything, the medical industry, they were overworked, but no one's paying that overtime because of everything's being cash strapped, right? So with that being said, with that being said, everybody, how I look at it like this is not just her problem, but what I wanted to bring up is the highlight that everyone's having an issue. And these stimulus checks, or the lack thereof, is trash. It's not working. But let us, let us move on. Let us move on to a different, let us move on to something different, to a different article that bolsters the argument. You know what I'm saying? That bolsters the argument. And what I mean by this is as we move on to this different article, you know, now coronavirus. Now we're pulling up this other article, right? Because this isn't just her. This is just people like women are they're selling news on OnlyFans just to feed their families. Like this is an ongoing thing, right? When times get rough, the equality thing and all of this other stuff means absolutely nothing when you have to feed your families. Now, let me bring this up. You know what I'm saying? So let me show you this. Let me show you this. And these articles are sitting in the description box once again. So you guys can go check them out, the audience and stuff like that, so you guys can check them out. But what do you guys think about this? Like, this is how bad things are getting, far as the economy, because of this pandemic, you know what I mean? And people spend more money during the holidays. People normally spend money, and then the month of January and February is pretty much to get over that economic hangover. So when you get that tax return, it's like you're recouping the money that you spent on the holidays, being charitable to your loved ones, giving things to the less fortunate than yourself, or just sharing with your families, going on a holiday trip and things of that nature. But because of the pandemic, it has changed a lot of things, how we interact with each other, how we look at money. We're not running around, doing a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So as we normally would do it. Now, with this being said, is as we look forward, people are looking at different streams of income. And since we can't go out, or you can't, usually when people hit an economic downturn, people will pick up a second job, a part-time job, something that they consider a hobby, they'll turn it into a job. But since we can't physically be around each other and touch each other, what can they do? And this is what we're talking about. Selling news. Now, this was December 19th, 2020. Now, remember that expose in the New York Post was done December 12th. Then this article, the article that I read previously, was December the 22nd. This is December 19th, 2020. You see this selling news on OnlyFans kept these families afloat this year. So December 19th, 2020, Jocelyn Cook, this is the reporter for the Huffington Post. It was in late July. Rachel, 30-year-old single mother living in Minnesota, didn't know what to do. She just been laid off from her job at a casino after being furloughed for months due to the pandemic. Her weekly COVID-19 relief benefit from the federal government had expired, and her state unemployment aid barely amounted to a third of what she'd been earning before the crisis. But she needed to pay her rent and bills. Both Rachel and her toddler are asthmatic, putting them at high risk of complications for the coronavirus. She didn't feel safe looking for new jobs outside of her apartment. Her limited savings were rapidly running out, though, and she was terrified that they would be evicted. So in August, in an anxious bid to make up for her lost wages, Rachel began selling nude photos and videos of herself on OnlyFans, a platform where independent creators charge fees for users who want to access their private content. This wasn't something she'd ever imagined herself doing, but it worked. And through her news and other services, such as live streams in which she reads political literature in lingerie, she built up an audience, and it wasn't long before her OnlyFans earnings had pulled her back from the brink of poverty. She had even had time to re-enroll in college classes online for her degree in computer science. Although Rachel was grateful that the online sex workers kept her family afloat for now, she worries about the harm it could cause her in the future with career opportunities. Now, see, this is a double-edged sword. right? Stories like her have become increasingly common, although not although you know what I'm saying increasingly common, though not all have been successful. Huffington spoke with mothers from all over the country who started selling explicit images of themselves on OnlyFans on the pandemic to make ends meet. Some said that they enjoy doing it and find it to be an empowering path back to financial security and independence. Others say that they turn to online sex work in a state of desperation as a last resort means of survival. All describe OnlyFans as a lifeline amid a global catastrophe in which they feel like their government has abandoned them. A lot of people who do this feel like they have no other options. Now, you can read the rest of this, right? But once again, the rep, Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, constigated the newspaper on Twitter and later added that in absence of monetary aid, shame should be focused on the federal government, not marginalizing people surviving the pandemic without help. Well, if it's just the case, then you might as well make prostitution legal. If this is the case, if you feel this way, then you might as well make the prostitution legal. That's just me in a nutshell. So what you're telling me is that women put themselves in a position like this when they have no choice but to find a way to survive because the men in their communities or leading them are not providing properly. Now, this is a woman. We don't know if she's black. We don't know if she's white. We don't know if she's Asian. Well, the first woman, we know she looks Asian because she don't look black. So that means that this is an American problem. This is an American problem. This is an American problem, right? This is an issue, right? And just like any time in any situation, when a country is in its downturn, when the country is falling, when the country is going down in a spiral, women and children and other people, they have to find a way to make ends meet when the men that are leading them are not doing what they're supposed to do, or their leaders are not doing what they're supposed to do. Now, this woman that's in the DNC, she's a new House rep, in the Democratic Party. If she knows this, then what is she doing to change this? Because she is in a leadership position. What is she doing? Right? What is she doing to change this or help this? What is going on? And this leads back to economics. People act a certain way due to economics. This is not a white thing. This is not a black thing. This is not a Latino thing. This is a thing with people in the country. And since we happen to be American, this is a thing. And your future revolves around how well how your women and children are doing. If the normal everyday of your women and children are doing well, that means the men are leading and they're doing what they're supposed to do. And the reason why I bring this to men and I don't say anything about the women, not that women can't do or lead or put themselves in a position or certain things like that. What I'm saying is I'm speaking from a man's position and perspective, right? If this woman, she can be a single mother, whatever. There was some people in here where they were married, right? And that's even worse because if the man's there and then they have to agree that she has to sell her body online to strangers to do what God knows what fantasy or whatever they have to do, then what it is, right? And she said she was reading political articles online, and she made the most of her time, in lingerie. Hey, do what you got to do, whatever it is. But she's worried about what's going to happen. Will she be judged in the future? Yes, she will, because we just saw that. This is a paramedic had to do the OnlyFans thing. And then she is scared because she will lose her job or she will be accosted or she will be looked at crazy because she was online showing, her private areas for money. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. This is life. I have, I'm a survivor myself. I've done things to survive and you try to move on for that. And some people don't let you forget about it. But it is the state of the community. It is the state of the nation. This is where we're at right now. Okay, so now we're moving on. So that was our economic section, right? So now we're going to move to something else, right? So now we talk about the economics of this, of how this has affected a lot of people, including families, right? So now we're talking about the vaccine. A lot of people don't want to get the vaccine. People don't think they should get the vaccine. We saw online there was a nurse, when she took the vaccine, she fell out in front of everybody. That was like bad publicity for this vaccine. I'm neither here or there on the whole vaccine. I'm just putting the news out how it is. But it does not help to promote the vaccine where the people in the very field to administer the vaccine don't trust the vaccine. And let me explain why. And let me explain why. So we're going to pull up this other article, and this is in the medical section. If you look at the description, you scroll down, you look in the description, you will see it, right? So there, what I'm saying, there was a pharmacist. There was a pharmacist, what I'm saying? There was a pharmacist, and he decided that he didn't believe in the vaccine. And since he didn't believe in the vaccine, he decided that he was going to sabotage the vaccine. Okay. Now, we don't know if the vaccine worked or if it didn't work, but if you sabotage it, we know for certain it doesn't work. So pharmacists sabotaged vaccines because he thought that they were unsafe. This is his thought. This is his thought. He's a pharmacist. He administers medicine. He gives medicine to people, from per doctor's prescription, or he'll prescribe the right dosage, or whatever if he sees something that is off. So in Wisconsin, man, we back in Wisconsin again, right? Man, we back in Wisconsin. What's going on with Wisconsin? It's like we cluing on Wisconsin. We're gonna clue in on some more too. Watch this. So, a Wisconsin pharmacist accused of deliberately sabotaging more than 500 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine allegedly told investigators he tampered with the vials because he believed that they were unsafe, according to new details revealed Monday in court. The Grafton Police Department released a probable cause statement revealing more details about Stephen Brandenburg December 31st arrest at his home. So they came New Year's Eve and got him, right? The 46-year-old pharmacist, whose license was granted in 1997, was an admitted conspiracy theorist and told investigators he believed that the Moderna vaccine was not safe for people and could harm them and change their DNA. Now, he didn't think it was safe because it would cause like some other medical issues or give them COVID. He thought that it would change their whole DNA, not just give them COVID. They would get sick and the vaccine wouldn't work, but he thought it would just change their whole DNA. Okay. So said that in a probable cause statement, right? So he said in a probable cause statement, gave a full confession that he had done exactly this. His intent was to destroy the medication. He did the things that he was accused of. In Ozaukee County, District Attorney Adam Jarrell told a judge during the Zoom video conference hearing, there is no evidence to suggest that COVID-19 vaccine alters a person's DNA. Some companies such as Moderna and I think this Pfizer use mRNA technology that introduces a small part of the virus genetic code to teach the body how to fight off the real virus. But the vaccine does not change a person's DNA in any way, according to Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Now, if you go to medical school, if you in some type of medical, in higher level, medical, in any type of medical portion of society, or if you're doing anything when you're talking about like work or anything like that, and you go to school, you go to medical school, they tell you how vaccines actually work. Okay, you get the virus. When you get the virus, you the way you get the vaccine, right? Because the way a vaccine works is when you get the virus, you break down the virus, you get a little piece of the strand of the virus, just enough, then it teaches the body to fight it off, right? And you introduce the virus. So every vaccine has the virus in it. So you're getting COVID. So they're actually intentionally giving you COVID, but on a smaller dosage. I'm not saying that you should get the virus. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I'm just giving you the facts. So your body naturally fights it off and it builds up antibodies. So when you come in contact with the virus itself in a higher concentrated state from one person to the next person, you have a better chance of not getting the virus because you already built up the antibodies. That doesn't mean that you won't get the virus. It just means that you built up the antibodies. Now, if enough people build up this immunity, then what it does is the vaccine boosters what they call a concentrated, or it gives a steroid or a shock, and it gives a massive surge of herd immunity where natural antibodies come into play. Now, why do viruses still exist after that? Because viruses build up an immunity and they evolve. Just like we evolve, they evolve. So with that understanding, remember, this is COVID-19. This is the 19th iteration of the COVID virus. Now that the virus has been rampaging, the virus now has altered to a more contagious state because of all the antibodies and everything that's been going on. So the virus is building up an immunity to the first iteration of it. So that we're clear, I hope, the audience can they understand what I'm saying. And if I'm wrong, man, you can dispute that in the chat. So I'm just giving you just that, just a quick synopsis of what's going on. So as a medical professional, if he felt though if the virus, it wasn't potent or it was going to hurt people, yeah, I get it. But when talking about changing DNA just through a syringe, no, for you to change someone's DNA, you have to do continuous under a strict environment things to change a person's DNA, not just 1 or 2 administrations of a dosage of a low-level virus, basically. Okay, so the Grafton police say Brother Red intentionally removed the vials from refrigeration storage at Advocate Oral Health Hospital on December 24th and December 25th, leaving them out to spoil overnight. Okay. The pharmacy technician discovered 57 vials outside the refrigerator where the vials were meant to be stored. December 26th, each vial contains 10 doses and approximately 570 doses that were spoiled, had a value of $11,000. Police estimated, however, due to the current pandemic and limited supply, some consider those doses priceless. Yes. Okay, so if we know anything about the dosage and the antidotes, with the vaccine, that they have to be stored at a specific temperature, and they even at that temperature, they only have a 10-day shelf life. So having them he pretty much ruined the viruses. They became null and void and stuff like that. So this is what happened. The value of the drugs is only 8,000. You know what I'm saying? So you can continue to read this. Now, what does this do? Now, they're making a lot of health professionals, basically take this virus. I'm like, take this, not virus, but you know what I'm saying? So they are basically, they have a lot of people that are in the profession, the medical profession, they have to take this antidote. If you don't take the antidote, they make you quit. Or the vaccine, basically. They're making you take the vaccine if you want to work in the medical profession. Okay, so now why did I bring that up, right? So now if people are working OnlyFans, you got medical professionals that don't believe in the vaccine, then what does this do? This is going to elongate the process of us being in this lockdown. England's going through another lockdown that's going to last until like early March. They just went through Brexit, so their economy is tanking, right? The American economy is in the trash. you know what I'm saying, is taken because people can't go to work, right? And not everybody can work OnlyFans. So how are you going to supplement your income? What are you going to do, right? And especially if you went out and you wanted to at least give some type of normacy. And I think, and this is just my opinion, we're not going to get into the enormity, not until I would say about 2022 to 2023, right? So, you know what I'm saying? And Callie Jane is right. Welcome, Latoya Brown. Yeah, who knows what other medications? Exactly. Who knows what other medications he tampered with? You know what I'm saying? We don't know, right? So if you got all these people believing these conspiracy theories and things, what's going on, right? So now we're going to move on because that is the medical portion of this. So now we're going to move on to something that's been going on, right? So the COVID, because we forgot that COVID was around. So now we're going to move on to something that's been in the news. We're going to give a little break on COVID. We're going to come back to that. We're going to talk about the social issues. Okay. So we're going to talk about the social issues. Now, this is just in the news, right? So, sad to say this, but the legal system has once again failed us. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about our white people. I'm talking about Latinos. I'm talking about everybody, because the legal system in America has failed and it does not hold police accountable. And what I mean by that is because we all heard about what was going on, about the protests in Wisconsin, and how the black dude, the brother that was there, he had an altercation, I guess. You know, he had his girlfriend and his child's mother, and she called the police, and, you know, he's paralyzed from the waist down. He got shot in the back multiple times, and lucky he's still alive. Well, sorry to inform you guys, but, you know, to my, you know, sorry to say this, but he will not be getting any justice. We will not be getting any justice because no charges in the Kenosha police shooting of Jacob Blake, district attorney, announces they won't file any charges against the police. Yeah, shot him in his back, point blank range, and they won't be filing any charges. They won't even take it to court so a jury of his peers can either convict or not. They're not even going to court. The district attorney is not going to file charges at all. At all. So we're not even going to get to go to court. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so you can, you know, we can blame the legal system for this. They're not even going to prosecute something that is a crime. I'm not even going to read this out because we didn't heard this story because it folds into something else. But the link is in the description once again. But here's the thing. It's not just his fault. The reason why George Floyd and the officer being prosecuted the way they are is because George Floyd's family did not take a settlement before any legal action was taking place. The whole community, right? Now, you know, there were people marching in the streets, there were black folk marching in the streets, but it was mainly a community of folks in Minnesota. Mainly a community of folks in Minnesota, a whole community, right? A whole community. Listen, I'm from Baltimore, right? I'm from Baltimore, right? They call DC the chocolate city. It's 90% black, right? Most of the black people that reside in America reside in cities, right? They're not really out in royal places. Most of America is 58% white. If you go and look at a lot of these clashes, what they call Antifa, but they like to throw Black Lives Matter and Antifa together. It's not the same as two different things. But these counter protesters, when you talk about the Proud Boys and the far right or far left, those are the majority split in half, fighting the majority. That's the majority versus the majority. That is the old wave versus the new wave of what's going on in this country. Okay. And then it's up to us to stand up and do certain things. And it's a problem because once you take a settlement, you sign an NDA agreement. So you can't even sit up there, even at your own trial, say anything. So if his family got the settlement and he's dead, they can't say anything against him, because what's going to sway a jury but the loss of a loved one from that person? Or if he's up there on the stand, he can't even get up there and go to and say anything, right? They gave him some money. They dropped his charges. Remember, they had this man handcuffed to his hospital bed and he was paralyzed. Where is he going? Where is he going? And until the outrage came for that, they did not charge him. They uncuffed him and they gave him a settlement. And he's quiet. Now they already have National Guard coming out and so forth. So now you're asking me like, okay, well, we're talking about this because this is just up. And I kind of knew there was no charges being filed, and they made it, abundantly clear what they wasn't going to do. But here's the thing. Why am I talking about this? Well, the reason why I'm talking about this is because this is where it gets a little hairy, right? This is where it gets a little hairy. Now, we're going to talk about, there's the young kid, Rittenhouse, right? And the people that he shot and people that he killed, remember, 17 years old, crossed state lines, got someone to illegally purchase a firearm with his stimulus money. He went and brought a firearm with his stimulus money. A 17-year-old, first of all, how is a 17-year-old getting stimulus money and then enough money to buy her a AR with ammunition, where he, in a pandemic where his parents allowed him to drive from one state to another state, pick up the gun, go out, run around, and then accost people, shoot people, and kill people, because that's exactly what he did. And he worked at the YMCA. So let's bring that up. Then I'm going to tell you what's actually happening, right? Because, and he may get off on charges. He may not go to jail for what he's supposed to go to jail for, because if I list the charges, he took the firearm and took it back across state lines. So he brought the firearm in a state that he wasn't a resident of. He's underage, so he's not supposed to own an AR, because the point of him having someone else buy it for him in another state so he can circumvent that. He got the firearm. He's not licensed to carry the firearm in this state. He accosted people. He was in a place he wasn't supposed to be in. He hurt and he shot and he killed people. Then he took that firearm and went back across state lines. And the Wisconsin Police Department did not arrest him at all until it was out. Now he's out on $2 million bond. He's out on $2 million bail that other white supremacists and far right people came together to support. You know what I'm saying? To support. So I'd like to give a shout out to Latoya Brown for showing up. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the support. And our sis Vonda, how you doing, sis? How's everything? So let me bring that up on screen. Let's bring that up on screen, because we like to bring receipts. Okay? We like to bring receipts. So Kenosha police sheriff faces $20 million in damage claims related to Kyle Rittenhouse shootings. $20 million. This is the young man in question right here, walking down the street. Now look at this. Now look at this right here. This is him in question, walking down the street, walking with this man. Like, you could have sworn that we were under attack. Like, there were insurgents. Like, this is what's going on. I don't see any guns in these people's hands around them. They don't even have masks on. Remember, we were still in the middle of a pandemic, mind you, right? Milwaukee, Kenosha Police Department, and Kenosha County Sheriff's Department could each be held liable for up to $20 million in civil damages connected to the August 25 shooting of Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, here's the crazy part. Why were people protesting? Well, they were actually protesting for the very same reason. They were protesting for the reason of the black man getting shot in his back that didn't get any justice. That's what the original reason of them protesting. Did we forget? Did we forget the original reason why the protest was going on? And it got out of hand, right? And this young man decided that he was going to do something, leave all the way. So he had the intentions of shooting someone. So let's go with, right? So I can't pronounce these names of Wes Alice, who was seriously wounded, and the parents of Anthony Huber, 26 of Silver Lake, who was killed, have each served a 10 million claim notice with both the city and the county. Claim notices usually are precursors to lawsuits filed against local government. Both men, along with Joseph Rosenbaum, were shot by Rittenhouse during a night of protest and civil unrest following the Kenosha police shooting of Jacob Blake, who was left paralyzed from the waist down. See, it goes into a byline of why, right? Now, Kenosha braces for more unrest as the DA mulls whether to charge the officer in the shooting. Already read the DA's decision. He said he's not going to charge it. So they already know that the unrest is happening. They already prepared to launch the National Guard and everything. Right? Rittenhouse has been charged with 5 felonies, including first-degree intentional homicide. He said he fired his AR rifle in self-defense. Now, they're not going to get him because first-degree murder is hard to really prove. And the reason why it is because you had to premeditate, plan to kill this particular person. That means you had to have a personal relationship with that particular person. So first degree murder, probably he's not going to give him, they're probably not going to charge him with that. Like they would have to prove, they would have to get text messages and say he was there to go kill some people. He was going to show them. And then it's a big gray area with that. Without a shadow of a doubt, no. Now, what he get was second degree murder? Yes. Was third degree murder? Most likely. Manslaughter in the first, second, and third degree, yeah, you can hit them with that. So even with charges, you got to watch how they charge people, because if they don't charge them right, they can just get off, because that's the only thing they charge them with. And when they try to hit them with the hardest charges possible, and then they plead out or they can say not guilty, you can't come back later and try to charge them with anything lesser. That's a workaround of how they get them out of things, depending on the money and who you know and the political savvy that you have. Okay. The claim notices served by Hibbert's family say the actions or the inaction of the Kenosha police and the Kenosha County Sheriff deputies are tied to the shooting, said the attorney. We believe that there was some level of negligence on behalf of the city and the county, she said. The claim notices lack details typical found in civil suits. Monty said, she said, because the plaintiffs do not want to interfere with the ongoing prosecution of Rittenhouse. He is currently free on $2 million bail while awaiting trial. Now, see, here's the thing. These are civil suits. Civil suits don't put you in jail. You can actually, in the case of O.J. Simpson and Nicole Gold, right? He was found not guilty, but he was found liable for the emotional pain. So the family sued him, so he had to pay it off. So he still had to pay them in civil court. So just because you lose in criminal court or the person gets off in criminal court, that doesn't mean you can't still sue them in civil court, because civil court is all subjective. It's a whole different ballgame. So they will probably offer these people a settlement or something, or come to some type of agreement of what's going on. Now, the hairy thing is because he's got to be extradited to the state to stand trial because the crime happened in this state and another state. Now you get into all of those hairy. Now, if they're saying they don't want to interfere with the criminal case against Rittenhouse, that means they're probably already in talks for settlement. They're just doing the due diligence of filing the claim because it's got media attention, and they'll be more likely to settle out of court because of what's going to happen and what's going on. I'm leaving here today on this one. I'm just showing you the facts and the reality of what's going on. I'm just here showing you the facts of what's going on. And that's right, Callie Jane. It is difficult to prove the intent on first degree murder. And Nick, you are correct. You are correct. Now, if you want to know more about, you want to read more of the article and stuff like that, that right there is in our social issue. Now, I want to bring this full circle. So we're going to talk about wrapping up our social issue segment here. We're going to talk about, everybody knows about the Soho. She's being dubbed as the Soho Karen. Okay, we are. If you haven't read it in the headlines, the Soho Karen. She accused a black teenager of stealing her phone in a hotel. His father, he's a jazz musician, pretty famous one, as you read up on it. And she had the help of the hotel manager. She then attacked this young man and his father. And people have finally identified this woman. They even put out a petition to have some legal ramifications come with this against this woman, right? And as you read on to the story, it gets more intriguing. It gets more intriguing. So, would we like to read on? Because I found a couple of articles because this gets more egregious as we talk about this. This gets more egregious. Yeah, she tackled the young man. You're right, Vaughn. She tackled the young man, scratched up the father. Now, I do give this. Now, I'm going to say this. I do not condone hitting of women. But when children are involved and she is attacking a child, because this young man was a young man, he was a minor. This was an adult attacking a minor, even though they do not see black people and black children as children. We've known this countless, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, the list goes on. But if I was the father, I probably would have been in jail because I would have smacked fire out of her for attacking my son. I'd have smacked fire out of her. You know what I'm saying? They thought the Ice-T dude was ill. Oh, Lord. I'd have smacked fire. I'd have smacked fire. 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 They'd have, make my pimp hand strong, Lord. Amen. I would have, woo. But get my blood pressure up just thinking about it, because I have children, I have young men, and this is crazy. We want equal rights, but we want to pick and choose, right? Where are the SJW? Where are the feminists for this one? Where are the feminists for this one? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. So as we go in here and look. Okay, so now she has a history, y'all. Would y'all like to hear about her history? Because I like to do follow-up. I like to do follow-up work. You know what I'm saying? I like to do follow-up work. So let's read some of these comments. Callie J. said, Neek, I love Neek. F that. Two-piece that back. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Right? Exactly, simply. Yes, Vonda. Indeed, Callie J. Indeed. I believe Wild B should have been reposited with the maximum efficient force. Exactly. I like how you said that. She's very sure of herself. Exactly, Vonda. What's going on, CJ? At work on Rush Road. Hey, thanks, fam. Thanks for showing the love, bro. A woman loses her privilege when she attacks a child. Facts. There's nothing you can talk about. Of course she does. They all do. So I'm about to read this. And, it says, Soho Karen has a history of unruly behavior and run-ins with the police. So this is not her first time doing this. Before accusing the teenagers of stealing her iPhone, Mayada Ponsetto had 2 alcohol-related arrests earlier in 2020. Well, wow. The plot thickens. I like how they write this, right? I didn't say this. I'm just reading the script. They write this. The plot thickens for the woman dubbed Soho Karen. The woman identified as Maya Ponsetto. Yes, that's how you say her name. Who allegedly attacked the accused 14-year-old. 14-year. She attacked a 14-year-old. Kenyon Harold Jr. of stealing her iPhone just a week ago at a New York City hotel apparently has a history of unlawful behavior. As previously reported by the Griot, Ponsetto made headlines after Grammy-winning trumpet player Kenyon Harold posted on Instagram a video of her hastily accosting his teenage son of taking her cell phone while in the lobby of the Earl Soul Hotel in Manhattan, where Harold's were staying. This is her right here. This is her. That's what she looks like. Where's Karen? There's Karen. Where's Karen? There's Karen. Where's Karen? There's Karen. There's Karen. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. That is crazy. That is crazy, right? So what? Look at this. That's what she looks like. Well, let me continue, right? The video shows Ponsetto lunging at the younger Harold, demanding he prove that the phone he was holding was not her phone. The elder Harold defended his son from the woman, all while capturing the incident. An Uber driver would later return her actual lost phones moments later. Since then, Harold has demanded Ponsetto be charged for assault his son with the support of the civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. Now, this dude is like Locust. He on everything, man. Listen. If this dude was so good at doing his job, he would have got some justice. Somebody else. We got a whole bunch of lawyers out there we can get that can do a better job than this dude because he trash. He is trash because he was a civil rights attorney for Jacob Blake. He ain't getting no justice for nobody. He is trash. Why do we still keep having a guy out there running around as a lawyer and not getting things done unless he's getting that settlement money? That's a whole different story. NBC reported more footage from the hotel surveillance camera showing Ponsetto tackling Harold Jr. to the ground in a skirmish, supporting his father's accusation that his son was attacked. The police reported that Kenyon Jr. sustained scratches to his hands. It seems that this isn't Ponsetto's first time causing a commotion in a hotel. The New York Post reported Ponsetto and her mother were both arrested for public intoxication last February. Oh my goodness. TMZ reported that at the time, the 2 women were staying at the Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills and refused to leave, prompting the hotel management to call the police. In May, Ponsetto was arrested again, this time for drunk driving and driving with a suspended license. She was sentenced to 3 years probation after pleading no contest. Jesus, take the wheel. I'm sorry. I can't read no more of this. I'm going to stop. Y'all can read the rest of this. This is egregious. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. There's no. And she's yet to be arrested. She's yet to be arrested. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. I can't. Look. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Listen. Driving, right? Her and her mama didn't leave the hotel. The police had to arrest her. Then she got caught with a suspended license. So that means she was driving with a suspended license. And she was drink driving. And that's probably not the first or second time, but she probably was drunk that day. She did that to the boy. Latoya, you're right. It told you exactly who raised you. Who raised you? Who child is that, right? For real. Now, this is the sad part of the thing that I have to bring up, because the sad part of the thing that I have to bring up is this right here for this young man. And as a father, this would hurt my soul. As a parent, his mom was up there pleading. Black teen falsely accused of stealing the iPhone is seeking therapy. Kenyon Harold Jr. asked his father, why me, after being assaulted by a woman in an NYC hotel. Now, listen, I'm not saying this. I'm not ragging on you ladies, so don't take this the wrong way. Okay? If this was a man, he'd be already behind bars and he'd be arrested. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is, remember when there was a guy during the whole Black Lives Matter, George Floyd protest, that the white guy on a bike walked up to these little girls and ripped the sign out of their hands. He didn't tackle them. He didn't smack them around, but he ripped the sign out of their hands, was screaming at them, and he got arrested. This was a white man messing with white little girls. He got arrested. Okay? This is a white woman assaulting a young man, a young black man. But let's just say this is a woman assaulting an older woman, an adult assaulting a minor. She needs to get that same work that a man would get. And I'm just saying this straight off. And I know the ladies in the chat agree with me wholeheartedly. Now, this young man needs to seek therapy because he don't know what to do, right? Because you're talking about you want all these equal rights. And I'm not talking about the ladies in the chat. I'm not talking about my viewers, listeners, or even if the people in the clouds, they believe it. But equality is equality across the board. Man, woman, cat, dog, rat, mouse, whatever. She assaulted a minor. This should be a no-brainer. She has a history of doing buffoonery. More people die of drunk drivers than of COVID. You get behind of a wheel of a car and you're intoxicated, you're putting everybody's life at risk. People that got nothing to do with your problems. But her dad would have been, he would have went to jail if he would have smacked fire out of her protecting his child, right? So he had to shield his child and not return fire after he was getting attacked. He can't stand his ground because he know how it plays out, right? Drunken, enraged white woman, lie, say whatever, news at 11, and then he's the wrong guy. He's trying to prove his innocence and nothing's going to happen. But she is caught on it caught on the security cameras. It was his phone. Then they had to get the security cameras to vouch for what everybody saw on the phone, then to vouch it, and they still didn't arrest this woman. Yeah, it's crazy. So let's move on. The young man who was assaulted in New York City hotel is now seeking therapy. The award-winning musician Kenyon Harold is seeking counseling for his 14-year-old Kenyon Jr. after he was assaulted by a woman who falsely accused him of stealing her iPhone on December 26th at a New York City hotel dubbed Soho Karen. After Harold posted the video and altercation on Instagram, the Simi Valley, California native is being sought for arrest in the incident. It shouldn't be hard to find her, right? I'm like, she's already in the system. She got 3 years of probation. Matter of fact, if she's got 3 years of probation, that means she broke her probation, didn't she? Because when you're on probation, you can't do anything. You can't get in trouble for anything, right? So she should be going to jail. Okay, I'm just saying. It should be easy. Open and shut case. She violated probation. Did she know? Did she tell her probation officer that she left the state of California? I'm pretty sure she didn't do that. Just by you leaving the state and you're on probation, or you leaving the city limits, by that in itself is a violation of probation. You ain't supposed to leave the state. Hey, man, I'm just saying. I'm like, tell me if I'm wrong. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, Cerulean tell me a lot of lawyers' firm isn't guaranteed to win. Okay, I see what you're saying, Cerulean. But we need to change that. We need to raise funds for these lawyers to take these cases, because if they get paid, they're gonna try to win. Uh-oh, here we go. We got complexity protection. Complexity protection. He knows now. Hold on, Vonda says it's sort of, she was out of control, way out of, exactly. But I'm just saying she's on probation. Now that we get all of these things in order, she's on probation. So she wasn't supposed to leave the state. And I'm pretty sure that if she's accusing a 14-year-old of taking a phone, that means she wasn't in her conscious mind. Y'all like how I did that? That's an inside joke. I'm being petty. My bad. Sorry. But anyway, let me continue reading this, right? Let me continue reading this for y'all. Right. So he wonders if he's good enough to own an iPhone or whether he's out of place at a nice hotel. I have tried to instill dignity in my son. I tried to build his ego because for so long, egos of black men have been shattered. As a musician, Harold travels and his son is accustomed to staying in hotels, but now says the young man questions himself, is afraid of going to hotels and worries about being assaulted. The teen also told his dad he felt like a criminal after being falsely accused. Then I'm glad that this black man, they're showing that the black man is taking care of his son. He's speaking out for his son. He's talking about the problems and the worries that we have and what's going on. And he was out with his son having a father and son time, and he works and he's a part of his son's life. And for his son to have those conversations with his father, and his father did the right thing, and his father went and sought therapy for his son. A lot of things that we don't do in the black community, sometimes we're so, our mental health, black people are really, really strong. Sometimes we're too strong for our own good. And that's a lot of times that leads to a lot of the things in society looking at us as if we're some type of different entity where we're human just like, and we're even more so human and more compassionate than the people that oppress us, and sometimes too compassionate, because I swear before all that is Jesus and lovely, that trumpet in his hand would have went upside her head. I would have pimp smacked the fire out of her. I'd have went to jail that day. They'd have put me underneath the jail. That'd have been the last time. My son would have never had to worry about that. He wouldn't need no therapy because I'd have smacked all the therapy out of her. Well, so excuse me, my bad. Sorry, my bad. The other me came and took the mic away. Sorry, I'm back. Sorry. Let me take a couple seconds. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Okay. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, y'all. Had a little moment there. Had a petty moment. The petty ghost. He came in and he spoke. Speaks through me sometimes. Sorry. Petty. All right. So I'm glad he's seeking therapy. I'm glad the father's stepping up. The parents are working together, but this needs to be addressed because this is terrible. This is outstanding because we need to not sit on our hands, and all this forgiveness needs to stop. All this forgiveness when someone makes a mistake needs to stop. Because if you keep forgiving them, they're going to keep doing it because they know they're going to get forgiveness. No quarter. Just like they do for us. They don't forgive us. We don't need to forgive them. It's the American way. Pay up, restitution, emotional damages and all. Get all of that. Obviously, they got money because if she can keep doing stupid stuff and getting arrested and just getting probation for stuff, she got to have some money. I'm just saying. So now that we've talked about that, now we got to move on stuff. Those social issues really get you up in here, up in the chest area, really hits home, right? Really hits home. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some policy. We're going to get into policy right now. We're going to get into policy, y'all. So we're going on the back, we're going down to the back stretch, right? So we're going to run through this. Now we're going to talk about some things. But before we get to the meat and potatoes and the stimulus and all the wonderful stuff, right? We're going to talk about cannabis. Yes, we're going to talk about our favorite 5-leaf, 6-leaf thing, you know what I'm saying? The thing that's always sung about, the taboo thing that has put a lot of people in prison over the years, that you cannot physically get addicted to, that no one has ever died from smoking of it. Maybe in transactions of buying it or purchasing it, but not smoking it or ingesting it. It has so many medicinal purposes that can get us off of what we call these opioids in this pandemic and things of that nature, right? Let's talk about weed, right? But we're going to talk about weed in a different way. So, shall we hear it? Let's go with it. Let me show you, because we like to bring you the news and we like to bring it to you so you can make your decisions. However way you feel about it, you can agree, you can disagree. It's cool. I'm cool with that. So here we go. Illinois expunges nearly 500,000 cannabis arrest records. Now, this was Saturday, January the 2nd, 2021. Okay. Now, Illinois' governor, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a Democrat, right? Okay, closed out 2020 by expunging nearly 500,000 non-felony cannabis-related records, an action mandated by the Illinois marijuana legalization law that went into effect a year ago. Okay, it went into effect a year ago, so he finally did something that happened like a year ago. Okay, as part of the action, the governor also pardoned 9,219 low-level cannabis conviction records, part of the state's efforts to repair the damage inflicted by the war on drugs, primarily on the residents of color. Wow. It's crazy. We will never be able to fully remedy the depth of the damage in the communities of color who have disproportionately shouldered this burden. Wow. So you're basically saying that Black people or people of color, minorities that are non-white or non-palm colored people, have been accosted and targeted in your effort for the prison industrial pipeline for slave labor, basically, in another form. Okay, cool. No problem. But we can govern with courage to admit the mistakes of our past and the decency to set a better path forward. Illinois' Cannabis Regulation and Tax Acts, which legalize cannabis in the state, require the government to expunge 47,000 cannabis-related arrest records between 2013 and 2019 by January 1st, 2021. Now, by January 1st of 2021, between 2013 and 2019, that's 6 years. That's 47,000 arrests just on marijuana alone between then. But it was 500,000 things was expunged from records, right? In a unique twist, the law also created a program that reinvests 25% of the cabinet's tax revenue into a fund for youth development, anti-virus programs, re-entry programs, economic development, and civil legal aid services for the R3 communities, those dealing with the high rates of gun violence, child poverty, and incarceration rates. Oh, you know, when every time you look on the news, they're talking about the killings in Chicago every weekend, or the murder rates in Chicago, or this, that, and the third. Well, if a person don't have what? If they don't have ways of making money, if they don't have any resources, and you arrest them at a high rate, and the only thing that they can do is something that's illegal, then what are you going to have? So this legislation alone does what? It gives these people a fighting chance in these disenfranchised communities. Yes, the damage has been done, but you can also protect the next future. These are people coming together to do what? To make policy, to enforce policy, to do what? Rebuild the community that was broken, and this can be done nation and worldwide. There's a lot of states right now. Now, why would they do this? Well, because it's more cost effective to have people working to enslave people. Costs a lot of work to keep prisoners in prison, to run that pipeline. After a while, slavery does not become cost effective anymore. It costs a lot to house a slave. This has been known since the beginning of slavery. That's why countries, once they get to a certain time in the maturation of them being a country, they move on from slavery, indentured servitude. They move on to another economic standpoint. So finally, these disenfranchised communities, minorities, are seeing that they are American. In the state of Illinois, they're moving forward to do the right thing. Makes more tax revenue dollars. Now the state can be independent from the federal government, right? Okay. So here we go. With Thursday's action, the state also met a separate January 2025 deadline to expunge all 492,192 state level records. However, only 9 of the state's 102 counties have finished clearing their own non-felony cannabis related records. So this is only 9. That's 9 of 102 counties. So they got a lot more to go. In a statement to the Chicago Sun-Times, State Senator Majority Leader Kimberly Lightford said the expungements are encouragement yet ultimately incremental. Dismantling decades worth of criminal justice atrocities will take years. This evidenced by how the country handles cannabis, she said, must never stop chipping away at the painful history. I'm proud of these critical first steps. Correction, earlier version of the story mistakenly stated Illinois has 201 counties. It has 102 counties. Okay, so that was even that was this was a reprint basically as a correction. So this article is in the description below. Okay, so this is a part of our policy section. All right, now moving on from that, right, in our policy section, now we're going to move on to our federal government. Where those lovely people up there, right, in Washington, D.C., can't get their stuff together, right? Okay, so I'm going to talk about the things that really affect you, because whoever the president of the United States is really doesn't affect you like right now, right? You notice how I'm moving from personal, even with these things, to the city level, to the state level, and now we're moving to the federal level. And this is how you should look at how you do things, or when we're talking about policies and politics that affect you on a daily basis. It's your city, your county, your state, then it's the country itself. In that order. That's how you're going to be affected. Okay. So as we move forward. Okay. So like they say, you know what I'm saying? Charity at home, then spread it abroad, right? If your house ain't right, you can't be going out helping somebody else's house. Okay, so Democrats propose a ban on he and she and all gender-specific words in new rules for Congress. Republicans have condemned a Democrat's plan to eliminate gender-specific pronouns such as he and she from the rules of the House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Speaker of the House announced that the proposal as a bold and future-focused move, and said it would make the lower chamber Congresses the most inclusive in history for transgender and non-binary people. Okay, I'm not going to read any further. Y'all can read whatever, right? Now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this right now. And please take this with a grain of salt. I don't care. And I'm pretty sure that the people, or the non-binary people, or whatever pronouns they want to use, I don't think they care neither. You know why I don't think they care? Because y'all can't stay focused. Y'all have ADD out there, right? And the reason why I'm going to say that y'all have ADD out there is because of this rule, this reason, and this reason alone, okay? You're worried about gender pronouns, he, she, them, those, their, that, their, y, x, y, z, sometimes identifies this, that, and the third. People can identify as whatever they want to identify as. I really don't care, and it really has no qualms. And I don't think those people really care neither, to a certain extent, right? It's usually the younger generation that gets all antsy about whatever they want to identify as, or sometimes is why, right? Because at the end of the day, what are you doing? Who are you? And how do you carry yourself? I don't care, right? Like a woman, she's Miss. She's married, she's Mrs., right? If she is divorced, do you still want to be called Mrs. because she still carries her husband's name, or she went back to a maiden name? All this, she can correct you in that sense if it's that damn important. Okay, like some people that don't know me, they'll call me by my first name. People that know me will call me Dre. If they call me DeAndre and I feel like that we're close, guess what? No, man, you can call me Dre, right? Guess what? You just identified me as a new noun. Yes, I gave you a noun to identify me. That's not an issue. I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care. What I do care about is this. And this is what I do care about. And all of you should care about it. And I think y'all should just be jumping down their neck. I'm like the American people in the whole, right? Senator Mitch McConnell's Louisville home vandalized. The vandalism and the politics of fear have no place in our society, McConnell said in a statement. Really? Really? Okay, well, you know what I'm saying. Republican senators said home Kentucky was vandalized on Saturday morning. As reported, the message of "Where's my money" was spray painted on the front door of the senator's home. The front door of the senator's home. The front door of the senator's home. The front door. I think we need some music for that.
Jay, come back here. I need my money. Come back here. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, you motherfucker.
Now, you know, Denzel had it right in Training Day, right? He needed his money, right? Now, the incident comes after McConnell blocked a vote to increase the coronavirus stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000. Even after President Donald Trump publicly backed the increase, McConnell argued that the standalone bill for the stimulus checks for Americans had no realistic path to quickly pass the Senate. On Wednesday, McConnell said during a floor speech that the Senate was not going to be bullied into rushing out more borrowed money into the hands of Democrats' rich friends who don't need the help. Louisville Metro Police Department told Louisville Attorney General that the incident occurred around 5 a.m. and Saturday with a minor damage to the graffiti to the window. Yep, there you go. Where's my money? Now, y'all can read the rest of this, but don't think it was just him. Because Nancy Pelosi, they did her even dirtier. They cut off, I don't know where they found this pig at, but they cut the pig head off, put it on her house and put the blood all over the place and did the same thing to her. She worried about him, her, them, there, and those. He up there saying, we ain't giving you nothing. And they're basically telling you what they're not going to do. These are the people that you elected into office. There's a pandemic going on. There are people out here struggling. You got people that are professionals, that have careers, that have families, and they got to subject themselves to jumping into OnlyFans. You got people out here getting their stimulus money, driving over a city over, using it to buy and purchase weapons to go shoot at people that are peacefully protesting the mistreatment by the police of another minority. Right? This is all encompassing. This right here is what's happening now. And look, this happened January the 3rd. This article came out January the 3rd. This is after the holidays. Christmas and New Year's is over with. Congress has still not done what they're supposed to do for the American people. Now, I'm a fair and partial person. When someone's right, they right. When they're wrong, they're wrong. I don't like Savage 4-5. right? He's got two alter egos, right? There's Savage 4-5 and there's Petty 4-5. On this one, he was backing these stimulus checks. He was only doing it because he lost the election and people turned their back on him. So he's being Petty 4-5. He couldn't be Savage 4-5, so he's being Petty 4-5, right? So he's being Petty 4-5. So now, what I like to say is, there's also one where Lindsey Graham, he said that he backed the stimulus. So they're playing this political jousting back and forth. But that's it for policy. That's it for policy. Now we're going to move on because we did the policy, and all of these articles are down in the description below. Now I would like to talk about some things that happen. Okay, crazy things that people do. This is a segment. I used to say who mans is this, but I don't think anybody would want to claim any of these people or have any affiliation with these people whatsoever, pretty much, right? Okay, so here's the thing, right? Now, this happened in India, okay? Sister Abayan, I don't know how you say her name, Indian priest and nun jailed for the murder of convent sister, right? Now, this is in India. This is in India. Okay, so a Catholic priest and a nun have been sentenced to life in prison for killing another member of the convent in India nearly 30 years ago. The father, Thomas Kotor, and sister Sif were convicted on Tuesday of murdering 21-year-old sister in 1992 and destroying evidence of the killing. The pair killed her after she came across them engaging in illicit sexual activity. Oh, Lord. The local police originally thought that the young nun had taken her own life, but further investigations were launched following suspicion about her death from family and campaigners. And Civ 55 was not publicly commented on the ruling, but Contour 69 insisted he was innocent. I have done no wrong. God is with me, he told outside court Wednesday. A third priest, Father Joseph, I don't know how to pronounce these Indian last names, so was accused by prosecutors of also having illicit sexual relationship with Stephanie, and he was arrested and charged over the murder in 2008, but later acquitted due to lack of evidence. Whoa. The nun was giving it up to everybody. Everybody was getting a turn, boy. Wow. Okay. Woo. Jeez. But so body was found in a well at St. Pius 10 convent. I don't know the city. I can't pronounce the city. A city in southern India. The court ruled that before her death, she awoke in the early hours of 27th March 1992 and walked into the convent's kitchen to fetch water from a fridge. While in the kitchen, she caught Connor 70 in a compromising position. Somebody was making the biscuits. Fearing that she would disclose their discovery, the pair killed her and disposed of her body, the court ruled. Man, look, come on. What I'm thinking, something else was popping off, right? And she probably was smashing father, whatever his name is, and the nun, listen, the whole convent was hoes, right? And he was probably the dude that was holding the most power at the time. And probably what happened is this is probably what went down, right? And you know what I'm saying? This is just me. I'm just theorizing what actually probably went down. Because this case is old. It's 1992. They just prosecuted it now. So look, they just looking for somebody. So, hey. So if y'all want to read more about this article, it is in the description box below. So it is in the description box below. So go check that out if you would like to do it in your spare time. So let's move on. More on this. Okay, so let's move on to the next article, right? To the next one, right? Okay. So here we go. I know, right? It's a lot of stuff to unpack, right? This is a lot of stuff. So, okay. So a Tennessee mother was arrested after she left her 1-year-old alone in a parked car while she was at a bar on New Year's Eve. The story, Taylor Ardrey, Monday, January the 4th, 2021. Once again, the link to this article is in the description below. Okay, a 25-year-old Tennessee mother left her child in a vehicle to drink at a local bar on New Year's Eve, the Daily Beast reported. Man, really? Like, really? You had to get your New Year's Eve on? Your child is 1 year old? You just had this kid? Like 12, like, you carried the kid for 9 months. You just had the kid, like, kid's 1 year old. You can't you can't be a mom for like, okay. Okay, according to WTVC TV, reported citing an affidavit, a person noticed Selvos King's 1 year child in a car near a bar alone that notified police. King was charged with disorderly conduct, child neglect, and public intoxication. The Tennessee mother was apprehended after being accused of ditching her child in a vehicle to drink at a bar during New Year's Eve. King, 25, of Chattanooga, Tennessee, was in a bar when a person noticed one-year-old inside her parked car near the establishment. Reported citing an affidavit, the person proceeded to break the window to recover the child and notify law enforcement, according to the outlet. The affidavit said the police alerted the bar security to call for the owner of the car. Although she didn't intentionally respond, King eventually went towards the officer and was described as acting irate and belligerent. In the affidavit with question about her child in the vehicle alone, officer says she also detected a smell of heavy odor of alcohol coming from King's body, along with the distorted speech and red eyes. According to the affidavit, the baby's grandmother picked her up at the scene of the incident. News reported, charged with child neglect and intoxication. Lord, Lord, Lord. This, now, see, what I'm about to say is this isn't something that this isn't something that someone just wakes up and does. This is built up behavior. This woman, she has a drug addiction. She's got a lot of things going on with her. She got a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure her mama was like, "Why did you take it?" "Well, you wasn't watching. I wanted to go out." That's probably what the whole thing was about. So we got one more, y'all. We got one more. This is pretty sad. This is a pretty sad. It's sad, but it's good at the same time. It's sad, but it's good at the same time. Okay, and what I mean by that is, with this article, and you know what I'm saying. So if anybody's been reading the news, and you're probably going to ask me, well, how can it be good and sad at the same time, right? Okay, so lawyer says sergeant may have PTSD. Okay, so lawyer says Army sergeant arrested in the Illinois bowling alley shooting may have PTSD. An attorney for the U.S. Army Special Forces sergeant arrested in the authorities called an apprehended random shooting at the Illinois bowling alley that left 3 people dead told an initial hearing Monday that her client may suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, now the thing is, right? The reason why I say this is sad, but at the same time, this is good. This December 29th, 2020, the story was released, is because there was a young man that always goes to this bowling alley. And there's a story that if he didn't leave, if he would have still been there, he would have got shot. He would have probably died. That young man decided to go home early, and the guy walked in couple of moments, like they actually passed each other, and he went home and went up the street, and that's when the shooting started. So he was actually safe in his house. So he basically didn't do his daily routine. So for this man to do this in this bowling alley, there has to be a reason why he did it at this time, at this date. Post-traumatic stress syndrome usually happens when someone's having a fit of rage. This seemed like a planned thing. That means he was there for someone. He was there for someone particular. And that means that for him to shoot all those people in that bowling alley, that means that this place is a gathering spot on this particular day. That means he lived in that area, that neighborhood, and he knew. So what I mean is sad and good at the same time is it's sad that this man did this, but it's good that that young man left with his life. that he, you know, said. And I had the article. I thought I had it in my notes right there, but I seem not to. I think this is it. Yeah, here it is. Actually, let me pull it. Let me pull this article here, and I also have this in the actual. Yeah. And I have the article also in the description below. They dodged a bullet in the horrific bowling alley shooting. This is the young man right here. That's the young man that dodged that bullet that didn't get shot, and that is the man in question that shot up the bowling alley. Isaiah Box was in the wrong place at the right time. The 25-year-old lives in Rockford, Illinois, sharing a home with his parents about a half a mile from the Don Carter lanes, where he was a regular at the Upstairs Tavern, Shooter's Bar and Grill. He was there as a usual this past Saturday, but left earlier than he normally does. This, he now realized, may have saved his life. I don't know how. I don't know what made me leave, especially on a Saturday. I typically stay up there to watch football. Box told Daily Beast, I happened to leave around 4:45, 5 o'clock, and went home. About 2 hours later, police active duty U.S. Army Green Beret Duke Webb entered the Don Carter lanes and opened fire, killing 3 and injuring 3 more. A 16-year-old girl sitting at the table on the first floor was shot in the shoulder, followed by a 14-year-old boy who was shot in the face. According to police, the 2 were there to pick up takeout food. Both survived, but the police said Webb then went up to the second floor bar where he shot and killed Dennis Stinoff, 73, Thomas Fuse, 65, and Jerome Woodford, 69. A fourth has yet to be identified man, 62, was shot several times and remained in critical condition. Now, just by them saying this, I don't think this was PTSD. I think this was a planned thing. I think this was a planned thing, and he's claiming crazy because, you know, he's a Green Beret, he's Special Forces. They trained him to go out and kill, so he's using the whole war thing as a defense. But I think this was planned. And if this is like a bar or a hangout place that people go to and it seems like it's a little town, yeah, I think something went down and he went there and something popped off and he went to go pop off. Someone say pull up and he pulled up. So that's just my 2 cents on it. That's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. I'm just speculating. I don't know. But this is just my opinion. I'm gonna say it's my opinion. Stupid. So now that clears, that clears the thing on what crazy people do. The things that crazy people do. That's my segment. I find some crazy stuff that I see in the news that people do, and I bring it. Now we're going to move on to the entertainment section, and we're going to close this out with closing words. I know this has been a lot. I've been going through a lot. I'm trying to get the new format down. I'm not trying to be too long, trying to hold you guys too long. I appreciate you guys still staying up with me, still rocking with me, still vibing with me. Appreciate the support for everybody. But before we get into the entertainment portion of this, before we get into the entertainment portion of what we're talking about here, we got to pay some bills. We got to sit up here. We got to say what's up to our sponsors. And I like to promote other channels, especially one that's so near and dear to my heart that always supports myself, the rest of the Grey regime, and a lot of other content creators. We would like to go ahead and, give this wonderful lady her due because she deserves it. And so we like to give it and just staying back. We like to show this and let's support our wonderful lady, the Quincy Jones of our space, Sean Willie.
Hi, this is Char Willie from the JustaskChar Advice channel on YouTube. Join me every Friday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for an open panel discussion. You'll find myself, Classic Ruby, and others giving our honest opinion, giving several examples, and problem solving. If you have an email for advice, you can send it to JustaskChar@gmail.com. Hope to see you soon. Peace.
All right, so that's our wonderful, wonderful Char Willie. Check her out on Fridays, but they also have over on CRBJ tomorrow night. They have Keep the Beat, you know what I'm saying, segment, and they have On the Beat and they have Keep the Beat. So it's 3 hours broken up into 90-minute segments, basically. So On the Beat is Char Willie and DJMuziq, our Supreme Elder. And then you can twerk in the chat room, throw your gifts up. They play music, they have commentary, and then you have Keep the Beat with Char Willie and Classic Ruby. You know, where they play wonderful music, except for when Char was being petty and played that Terrence Howard. Please don't play Terrence Howard ever again, Char Willie. Thank you. All right, so now we're going to go into our entertainment section also, and we're going to finish this off with our entertainment section. All right, so we love our entertainment section, right? So, and here we go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, you know, you probably seen that word in our chat a lot, and we're going to talk about the quote unquote Stargate, right? Okay, so you know what I'm saying. So it's an urban word for something like it's what we say about like in the with men is a woman that you have never met, had any type of dealings with, because you have these this perpetual stereotypical thing that the women that you deal with culturally are below standards, and you want to be with these other women, right, of this different culture, because you're just enamored with the stereotypical things that is put forth to you by media and propaganda, which necessarily isn't true. So this is what a Stargate is, okay? So I'm giving you a nice definition, I think somewhat political definition of, or PC definition of what a Stargate is, of an urban term, okay? So this is what happens when you come misinformed. So TikTok users sparks outrage after telling men who can't get women in America to go to Asia. All right. So as you can have them, gosh, I mean, you're probably 5 years or so. You know what I mean? So he's up here talking. So this Asian woman here, Asian women are not objects to get to have for a couple of years and then go to another one. We are not trophy or toys for your pleasure. So wow, she just smacked him down like kablow, right? So a TikTok user who goes by the username @CitizenAttorney1 is currently under fire after advising men who can't find a wife in America to go to Asia. The unidentified man, who appears to be no longer active on TikTok, described Asian women in America as not cool and not nice. This man shared a disturbing video on TikTok advising other men that they can get women in America to go to Asia. A man that goes by the username, so we read this already. It is kind of like they want to get here, he claimed. So if you're going to be the guy to help them get here, they will be akin to you. You can have them probably 5 years or so, maybe 7, he said, and in his now deleted video, and don't worry if they dump you. These guys get so worried. Oh my God, she's going to dump you. Well, duh, of course she is. But that's like 5-7 years down the line. When that occurs, just go get another one. Don't worry, there are lots. I mean, like many. He assured before ending the video with a thumbs up. At this point, it's like you're trying to piss me off. For this post, Asian women are not objects to have for a couple of years and then go get another one. We're not trophy for your toys and pleasure. Bringing Asian women to the U.S. is so historically loaded. After World War II, American soldiers brought Asian women with the War Bride Act, creating over 40,000 Japanese war brides and thousands more from other Asian countries, and it solidified this idea that Asian women are these exotic, submissive creatures that exist to fulfill your sexual desires. Having Asian fetish is disgusting and horrible. The video also made its way. So, what this basically said is the reason why the reason why that you have this fetish is because it was being perpetuated and it was a part of a policy. There was an act. That means someone put it in law that because what happened was a lot of these women, because they got displaced, because their men were killed in battle, and they had all these single mothers running around because the men went off to defend them. And so there wouldn't be any problems because the government would have to take care of these women and give them compensation. The compensation was olden times is you marry these displaced women off as a way of compensation to your enemy and get them out of the country. You get them out of the country, there's less women and children you got to take care of. There's women and children you got to take care of because the occupying force does what? They become empowered. So what will those women do that are displaced? They will lean more and then they will follow suit and then they will become one with those people. So if you see these women leaning more, you just get rid of them. Go over there. Yeah, go be with them. Go to America. Do all of that. Yeah. Go. Get out of here. Yeah. If you want to go, go. Go. Here's some money. Go. The women that wanted to stay, that weren't trying to deal with it, they stayed. This was an act because men understood and they knew that they couldn't properly take care of these women, even though they took away the men that were taking care of these women. So what I'm basically saying is it comes back full circle to this policy thing and men leading the nation or men or group of leaders keeping things straight so the women or the environment is salubrious so women and children can grow up and they can do what they need to do. This is not rocket science, but for what this guy's saying is, yeah, so what are they dumping? That's 5 to 7 years down the road. So what's the difference between the women in the United States? Why you got to go all the way to Asia to do the same thing here? Oh, because the way that the policy is, it will hold you accountable. Because if that woman comes over here or you're dating her for 5 to 7 years and keeping them on the string and she got to move on to another dude, you can just go get another one. You don't never have to commit to this woman because you already know what it is and no one's going to hold you accountable and then you can get your cake and eat everything too. You see what that is? That's what it is. Well, you're right. At least he admitted to being dumped, but that means that means is he's using them too. He just wants access to the body. He doesn't want to. He's not talking about go get you a wife and marry an Asian woman, you know what I mean, because they make better partners. He's saying they just make better dolls. It's easy to get them because you're holding out the thing. Or shall I dare say it? You're offering them a stove. Ha ha. Touche on that. So you can read this article in the link in the description, Okay? You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So we about to wrap this up. We got 2 more articles, guys. I'm glad that I'm going over on my time that I set, but you know what I'm saying? I think because it's the first stream. First stream I've done in a long time in this. The first stream I've done in this format. Plus, I think it's the first of the year. We got a lot to cover, and I've been gone for a while, so I'm just getting in the hang of things. So please bear with me, you guys. I'm gonna have this ready to go and things, and do some recalculations. Now, here we go. We got our wonderful friend. The spokesman that they thought that they could bring for all women or I guess minorities, Cardi B. She's speaking, she's talking, and let's go. Okay, so we got Cardi B up here. She's talking. So here we go. Let's see what Cardi B talking about. I know, Nick, right? I know, right? I told you, I'm saying, look, I saved up all my petty energy. I'm like Luke Skywalker petty, right? So here we go. Cardi B reacts to criticism over not letting her 2-year-old daughter Culture listen to WAP. Listening to WAP. She doesn't want her 2-year-old daughter. So wait a minute. I think before the end of the year, we had a stream where we were talking about how T.I. had backlash because he's saying that him spending time with his daughter was thought prevention hours. Okay? Okay. Cardi B is saying that she don't want her 2-year-old daughter listening to WAP, and she's getting backlash. I don't think a child should know anything about sexuality, period. End of story. When a 2-year-old should be watching Sesame Street. A 2-year-old should be learning the ABCs. So these are the same people that will say, how she up here can sing a whole lyrics to WAP, but she can't count and know her ABCs or write her name. She can talk about WAP all day, but she can't have a regular conversation. Who raised you? Now this woman is trying to raise her child right, and because yes, that's an adult theme, but now she can. So what do y'all want her to be? I thought women can be anything they wanted to be, right? They can have freedom of their body just because she wears titties almost hanging out and busting out and everything. We can see her whole undercarriage every time she's walking and twerking and stuff. We shouldn't treat her like a hoe. Well, then she shouldn't have to have a child listening to WAP because she knows what that would lead down. So Cardi B is doing thought prevention maintenance on her child. No, you're not going to listen to WAP. You're 2 years old. Here's Sesame Street now, Mo. But let's read it. The Grammy winner took to Twitter to react to criticism over the music she allows her daughter Coach to listen to. As fans may recall, on Sunday, January 3rd, the Bodak Yellow rapper shared a video of her dancing to her hit song WAP featuring. However, seconds into the clip, Cardi could be seen scrambling to turn off the song as her 2-year-old baby girl ran into the room. The video caused bitter stir from parents who were surprised that Cardi doesn't let her toddler listen to her own mother's song. So your daughter can't listen to it, but everybody else's daughter can. I am Cardi, and Twitter user wrote, "Oh, okay, exactly what I've been saying. You have an agenda to push with that trash ass label you're with. Disgusting." Without skipping a beat, the proud mom responded to a quote. "Y'all need to stop with this already. I'm not Jojo Swanna, a 20-year-old tweeted, I don't make music for kids. I make music for adults. Parents are responsible on what their children listen to or see. I am a very sexual person, but not around my child, just like every other parent should be." She followed up by retweeting herself and added, "There are moms who are strippers, pop, pussy, twerk all night for entertainment does not mean that they do it around their kids. No, stop making this a debate. It's pretty much common sense." I got to get some sound effects. But if you heard that, you know what that means? If you heard that, you know what that means? She has standards. So I don't agree with a lot of what Cardi B does. I don't agree with a lot of some of the stuff that comes out of her mouth. But I do agree with what she's saying with this. There's a place and time for everything, and too much freedom leads to decay and decline, and that's the problem. That's the absolute problem. And people, they want, and they get, and then when they get too much, they don't know what to do with what they got, and then they complain that you gave them too much. She did right. She was over there on Instagram, doing her thing, and she was doing whatever she was doing, and then the kid walked in the room and she turned it off. She said, I don't do this around my child because she ain't supposed to know all that. I am who I am. That's it is, but that's not for a child to know. Children stay in a child's place. And she did what she's supposed to do. This is how we grew up. I don't understand. And she said, this is pretty much common sense. A parent is responsible for their child. Stop. And see, and this tells you something. Right? Because the people, they did say, but it's not good enough. Oh, for my child. Well, why is your child listening to WAP then? She said, I made it for adults. I didn't make it for you. A child can't go to the store and get a pack of cigarettes. Well, I remember when I was young, I could go to the store and buy a pack of cigarettes for like my mom or a neighbor or something like that. But we knew not to smoke it because the whole neighborhood would keep it accountable. If they caught you smoking it, you'll catch your ass with it. But society is not like that anymore. She did right. And y'all need to do right too. And what she basically told y'all is y'all are not parenting your kids. A stranger should not be parenting your kids. You should be parenting your kids. You should take agency over your community and over your children. But this is a slippery slope, because when the men was trying to keep her in line, or they was trying to, or the society was against what she was doing, y'all told them to shut the hell up. Now, when she's showing you that she doesn't do the very shit that y'all think she does in the projection of what you think she does, and she has decency and decorum when it comes to her baby, now we got a problem. Now we got a problem. So what is it really good? Is it entertainment, or is it real life? Or was you stupid enough to just use it as an excuse to be negligent and derelict and dusty in your abilities to be great and have dysentery of the soul? I just wanted to just put that out there. Just put that out there. You know, Cardi B just showed us something. And, you know what I'm saying, that sometimes art imitates life a lot. And this is showing us where the common sense of our country has been. Too much freedom. Too much freedom. Sometimes is a bad thing. Now, we're going to move on to the last part. Okay? We made history, y'all. We made history. We made history on television. Y'all going to laugh at me, but we made history. Right? We made history. So, if you need something to watch, I'm going down the listings of things for you to watch. But I don't watch this, but I thought this was entertaining in itself to be newsworthy. So January 5th on this week, if you want to watch it or whatever, it's probably already passed. But the It List, The Bachelor returns with his first black male lead. Pieces of a Woman debut amidst Shayla Buff's controversy of his ex-girlfriend saying that he beat her up and whatever. Nicolas Cage history of swear words premieres and the best in pop culture week of January 4th, 2021. So the It List, Yahoo's weekly look at pop culture, including music, movies, and TV and stuff like this. Okay, so The Bachelor kicks off with its historic season with Matt James. It's a black man right here on The Bachelor, right? Okay, James, who was initially cast as a contestant for Claire Crawley's season of The Bachelor, is the show's first black bachelor in its 18-year run. Let's give a shout out. Let's give a hallelujah. We've made it, y'all. We president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? We got people in the Supreme Court. Let's put this on the Black History Month docket. A black man has made it to ratchet white reality television. Let's get at a goddamn hand clap. So anyway, the first Black Bachelor 18-year run, ABC announced Tyler Cameron's BFF would be the lead for the season 25 amid the Black Lives Matter movement, as the franchise was called out for its diverse problems. Listen, we got Love and Hip Hop, LA and New York. We got Basketball Wives, right? We got BT. Shoot, we got hip hop. We got enough reality television showing black people in a ratchet state. We don't need to be invited to the other side of the carpet to show diversity. We can be just as ratchet with white folk, or just degenerate, or just what's going on. I don't get it. I'm not understanding. But since they want to call it out, I think those shows pay more money. So, bro, I'm not even hating on you. Get your money, homie. Get that bag, right? So, diversity problems. James will not be too well versed in the Bachelor Nation yet, but you wouldn't know it. There are tears, ab shots, hot tubs, and more Bachelor staples in the previews of the upcoming season. Apparently, the drama is unmatched. Wow. Since James' quest to find love was shot in a quarantine bubble, viewers have seen the last of La Quinta, California. This season of The Bachelor was shot in Nomenclature in a Farmington, Pennsylvania. Jesus, Farmington, Pennsylvania. That don't even sound cool, man. California sounds better, but okay. So, dang, he didn't get the budget. Jeez, man, you couldn't have them living in a bubble in California, man. It's nice in California. It's always sunny in California. You in Pennsylvania, bro? Really? Nah. trash. All right, tragic. Just like our elder would say, right? So the Bachelor's premieres on Monday, January the 4th, 8 p.m. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all probably missed it. I did. Okay, so moving on. Pieces of a Woman premieres. Megan Good co-directs a Star's new drama, If Now, Not When. Actress Tamir Ross and Megan Good join forces for the independent Finex debut, If Not, Now When, about four high school friends who try to hang onto their relationship years later in the face of adult challenges, from adultery to single motherhood. Meanwhile, Good's Tyra is dealing with the surge drug dependency that's already jeopardizing her relationship with a partner and her teenage daughter. Okay, so yeah. So if not now then, that's the January 8th. That's Friday. Digital involved includes. Okay, so you go check that out if you want to. Watch it. Scrub in NBC nurses in the show's new polls. This Is Us time slot. So Canadians' answers to Greg Anatomy made its stateside debut in early December, but when the series returns in January 5th, it will nab the value Tuesday at 10 p.m. time slot after the network's blockbuster drama This Is Us, filmed on location in Toronto before the COVID-19. Nurses follows 5 members hospital nurse staff as they face the bevy of medical challenges ranging from everyday accidents to more life-threatening cases. Okay, cool. Check it out if you want to check it out. Don't say there's some people here. Stream it. Hilary Swanson fatally attracted to Michael Alley in the new thriller Felt Tale. All right. Okay, so we got a new thriller. The first there was The Fatal Attraction, then there was Obsessed. Now here comes Felt Tale. Another story of a married man, Michael Earl, who has an affair with the wrong woman, played by two-time Oscar winner Hilary Swank. But this time there's a twist. Swank's temptress, Valerie Valent, turns out to be a cop who uses the affair to pursue her own agenda, regaining custody of her daughter. Meanwhile, Earl's Derek Tyler just tries to stay out of her way until he has to take the law into his own hand, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, that sounds, crazy white woman and running after that. Okay, all right, whatever. It's okay. All right. I'm just doing entertainment stuff. I'm like, you're seeing a pattern here, right? This is Hollywood. I say art imitates life sometimes. Add the history of swear words to your curriculum. Okay, don't worry. This isn't one of those history classes. It's more like a line of drunk history with the awesome Nicolas Cage as your host. Experts in pop culture and history weigh in too, so you can know where swear words come from and why. If you're interested, you ain't got nothing else to do on Netflix. I remember, our esteemed Cerulean, he's been reading some stuff. What's going on, Zero? He's been reading some stuff, watching some stuff, and you get to the bottom because we're about to go through another lockdown, I guess, pretty soon. So just give you something to watch, when you ain't got nothing else to watch. Okay, so Hear It, Barry Gibb Goes Country, following up on the Bee Gees' acclaimed documentary, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? The lone surviving Gibb brother celebrates the family's musical legacy, Nashville style, with Greenfield's Gibb Brothers Songbook Volume 1. Okay, if you interested in that, go watch that. All right. Yeah. Poetic Justice in the second season of Dickinson's. Okay, so if you want to check out the rest of these, please do. The link is in the description of things to watch. What I'm saying? I thought this would be kind of funny and helpful at the same time. I thought this would kind of be funny at the same time, so forth. So I'd like to give shout outs to everybody that came through, that came and gave shout outs, that said, what's up, what's going on, how's everything popping off. And I hope everyone had a good time, had a wonderful holidays, but the work is still not done. Please be safe. Please wear your mask. Please social distance. Please don't go running off with them stimulus checks and blowing it on dumb stuff. Please use it whatever way that you have. Please budget your money. Start to exercise some form of minimalism. Absolutely. because I mean, as much as I am a person of you have to do what's best for you and yours, I do not want to see you on OnlyFans. Okay. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody. The whole regime showed up. Callie, Jane, the Grey regime showed up. Our esteemed Cerulean Grey, JustaskChar came through. RVSOP. We had a new person come through. We had JV Dessalines come and bless us with her wonderful presence. We had our sister Vaughn, of course, always here. We have a new person that came through, Latoya Brown. Thank you for stopping by. We had Zero Calvin come through just now, and we had Shaja Curse, and to all the lovely people in the audience, in the clouds that are watching. I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all free notifications. Please leave a comment on the video for the restream. I appreciate everybody else that has shared this stream on their community tab. Thank you very much. But as always, I like to say, have a good evening. No one will beg you to be great. Salute to the nobility. Ever noblesse.
The party is over, so let's all get the fuck out, 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 get